Hello, I'm Eric Jolly, and joining me today is Francisco Segovia, the Executive Director of COPAL. COPAL is the Community Organizing for Power and Action for Latinx. Welcome, Francisco. It's great to have you with us. Could you tell our audience a little more about COPAL and what the organization is designed to achieve?
Thank you, and good to see you, Eric. COPAL is a very young organization. It's a 2.5 years old organization. And our purpose is to improve the quality of lives of Latinos across Minnesota. And we do that through a range of different activities to engage people. And the purpose is that Latinos become civically engaged and pursue system change. At the end of the day, we want to live better, a better life.
You've been a part of inspiring this next generation. You worked for more than 14 years at the White House Center, and then you decided to create this new entity. What moved you to do that?
One time in life, when I was in college in my home country, I was chanting freedom until someone says, "What do you mean by freedom? What that freedom means to you?" And I couldn't articulate what freedom was. It's like, yeah, I'm fighting for something that I don't even know what that is. And so it took me a while to figure out, freedom could mean to be able to go to school, to be able to have access to healthcare. So the ability that as a human, I can fulfill my dreams without the obstacles that oftentimes, if you are poor, you have. And so I was thinking that our job as a community is to participate in the larger vision of Minnesota, because I believe that sometimes systems move so fast without us. And we need, as a community, to be able to articulate what is it that we dream and how do we incorporate our dream into the larger picture. And so to achieve that, we got to organize ourselves and being able to articulate this is what we want as well. So let's build that together. And so with that dream, I gathered with a bunch of friends, and that's how the organization came about.
So it is not just a census year, but an election year. And so
yes.
How are you succeeding in getting people to increase their engagement and their representation? What exactly are you managing right now?
Yes, we have a unique way to approach our community. Our community is a community that is still struggle with basic needs. So we thought about how do we have a friendly message to our community to say, hello, how are you doing? And how are you coping with this situation? And then we engage in a conversation. And by the way, have you done census? And by the way, are you an eligible voter? So we created this project called Hello Vecino or Hello Neighbor. And because, when you go to the neighbor and you feel like, okay, I want to speak with my neighbor, you have sugar or whatever you need. And so we have used a key elements about finding out how people are doing, connecting them with resources, and then asking them about those other factors that are important to the community, but are not the most important in this particular time.
Beyond registration for census and for voting and participation in the community, you're also engaged in environmental justice.
When you think about your participation in the larger ecosystem, we spend some time thinking, what is environmental justice for us? How do we see it? And then we arrive to the idea of human forced displacement as a result of environmental catastrophes. And then once people are forcibly being displaced, people move into different places like Minnesota, for instance. And so once we're in Minnesota, how do we participate in the local economy or through a green economy? And so we make use of that concept. How do we think globally or regionally? How do we act locally? And interestingly, in Minnesota, for instance, Worthington is one of the cities where I think that the people of color population is over 50%, and there are a lot of Hondurans who are in meat processing plants. And so if you were a Hondurans who are leaving the country due to economic and climate catastrophes, most likely you will come into the United States, and there is such high possibility of ending up in Worthington, for instance. And then the question is, how do we integrate people who become part of our social network?
So how does the Navigators program work? How does that tie into this?
There are resources, but lack of information, of knowledge, impacts people's ability to get access to those resources. And so at the moments where we're in the middle of this COVID-19, and people were like, I don't know where to go for this, and I don't know how to do this. And we thought about what happened if we create a Navigators program where people can call us and say, hey, I need help with testing, for instance. I need help with finding a doctor. And there is already a system in place, which is 211, and we have been getting some support from them to figure out a few things. But the thing is that we have seen messages from people coming to us through Facebook and in a private way, asking for really basic things. And our job is to figure out how we connect them with that. And so that's how the Navigators works.
How can we help you? How can people support your work in your community?
There is a range of things. Obviously, financial will be always an important piece, but also is the experience that others can share with us to be able to build the systems that we are still trying to figure out to build. And oftentimes it's just check in. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And that, oftentimes that's the hello vecino, hello neighbor situation. Is sometimes we just need someone to check on us and say, hey, how are you doing? How things are going for you? Because it makes us feel that we are not alone on this. That there is a whole family, right? So it's just a collective family of us working together to a better world.
I love your joyful hope, because that kind of resilience is how we build a great future together. Thank you for joining us in this present moment.